Renee Varnador, your soul portal journeys. And go ahead, Brenda. Brenda is letting people in who are, so we're going to be seeing some people coming in here as I go about doing the very first thing that I like to do in a class, which is to call in the 7 directions. And it turns out that calling in the seven directions, I just got a hit to do that. I just like knew that that was a thing and started doing it like 4 years ago when I started my teaching classes online. And I found out that it's actually one of the things that helps you tune into one of the dimensions we're going to be talking about. So there you go. So here we go. I'm going to be sharing the lyrics to that song. And it's calling in the 7 directions, and I call in the archangels around that, around those 7 directions. So I'm putting this up here, and I'm going to start the slideshow. It didn't want to start. Yeah, it did. Okay, there it is. Okay. It's not in slideshow. Okay, there it is. There we go. Okay, so here we are. This is what we're doing. So the first thing we want to do before we even call in the 7 directions is this right here. I call myself back from all times and all places, because a lot of times we're not even in here and now. We're not even in 3D, even though the whole planet is kind of, has been in 3D traditionally. So if everybody can just call myself back from all times and all places. So if you're thinking about something else, somewhere else, bring in calling myself back from all times and all places. So we're being here now. Okay, here is the 7 directions song, and that's the I don't know. Yeah. Okay. This is why I don't usually do. Um, this is why I usually don't do the whole screen, because it moves on me. It's still moving on me. Those are all my slides. You guys get a sneak peek. Still messing up. Okay. End show. That's what I needed. It was right on my computer. End show. Here we go. All right, so here are the lyrics. What we're going to do is, can you guys even see that? No. Okay. So here are the lyrics to the song we sing in. And we're going to face east first. We always call in the newest energy as the east. So we've got Carrie already facing east. So if you guys want to stand up, it's more powerful than if you're sitting down, calling in the 7 directions. And think about what it feels like to call in 7 directions, call in archangels, and have them surrounding you. Okay, so that's kind of what we're tuning into right here. Spirits of the East, and inspiration, Archangel Raphael, please come. Spirits of the South, fiery creative spirits, Archangel Michael, please come. Spirits of the West, one living spirits, Archangel sound of fun, please come. Spirits from above, by the sky, perspective change. Archangel Metatron, please come. Spirits of within, heart space gifts. Archangel Hanael, please come. Okay, so I don't know about you, but I just feel now like I am surrounded by loving support. Yay. Thank you. Woohoo. So notice how you feel. Notice what you're feeling. Um, do you feel any presences around you? Do you feel anything? It's okay if you don't. Um, this is just something to be aware of. And I've got new friends that have popped in, so thank you so much for coming in. And so the first thing that I want to you may be wondering is, what is multidimensionality, and can a person even be multidimensional? So that's like the first question when you hear the title of this. Okay. So yes, because people are like diamonds. We have many facets. We have many lives that we may be living, not just on the earth, but all over the cosmos, all over the galaxy, all over other galaxies. And so there's all of these different facets with different experiences. And people used to call this realization that they were tuning into past lives or future lives. And now a lot of people are going, whoa, wait a minute. We're having all of these lives all at the same time. But how do we, tune into them? Well, for the longest time on Earth, we were kind of cut off, and I'll explain more of that later. We were kind of cut off from a lot of these dimensions coming in. Now saints and mystics always connected to them, but the rest of us pretty much didn't have the time and the space and the space in their lives to be able to tune in to anything other than a survival level 3D life. And so we are really all blessed that we have access to Zoom, and that we can come in and develop classes for each other and just really be of service to up level our own way of things coming into us. So there's a lot of different facets, just like we have facets of our personality, and a lot of us have had these tumultuous times of clearing all of this stuff out as more of these dimensions became available. We're going back to places in our childhood when we were tuned in and then shut down for tuning in, and totally confused because nobody around us understood that we could be seeing information. For me, I could see information coming in from the past and the future, all at the same time. And I didn't understand why that was happening at the time. I have some slides further down that kind of explain that. But it was just kind of traumatic being a child with a really strong Pisces moon, and that was mostly how I was navigating through life. So I know there's a couple other people on this call with a Pisces moon, and some other people that have a Pisces sun or ascendant or north node. And so there is this sense that so much that we were tuning into could not be communicated and in a way that other people could understand. So that was happening for a lot of people until, for me, it was until, I'm going to go into my story a little later. So I'm going to add into a little bit more about that on that slide. But I also discovered that we are the keepers of each other's diamonds. So we know where a lot of things that come through for our closest, dearest soul level friends, for our really deep connections with our family. We know, and we remember being with them, in other ways, in other places, in other time, in other senses of time, which in other dimensions. And we are the keepers of each other's diamonds. And I didn't know this until about a week before my mom made her transition to the other side. And she gave me back my diamond that she was holding for me because I was always afraid that she could not die on the planet because she knew me better than anybody else. And how would I navigate without her constantly telling me, I know how strong you are. I know things about you that you don't know. And so she gave me back my diamond so that I would know these things for myself and be able to navigate my life without her on the planet. Now, luckily, I can talk to her because I've studied, you know, being able to talk to people that have crossed over. But so, this may not be in your experience, but it is a possibility. So here we go. That this is a possibility that tells me that we're living in more ways than one. Now, you might be sitting there going, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about, Renee. I haven't experienced this." So I want you to write yes in the chat if you've ever had a Reiki or energy healing session. So here we go. If you let's put a yes in the chat. Brenda's going to watch the chat over there. Put a yes in the chat if you've ever had an energy, because guess what? You were in another dimension when you were on that table or in that room. Right. And then write a yes in the chat if you have been on a spiritual retreat. If you went off somewhere for a couple of days and everything was just like, wow, and you were ready to go home and it was like, what happened? I had all this huge change. Where did it all go? And so we were in another dimension a lot, oftentimes when we're on spiritual retreat. And then put a yes in the chat if you've ever walked a labyrinth. Now, labyrinths used to be in front of many, many churches. There's a famous labyrinth in Chartres in France and in the cathedral, which is gorgeous. So if you've ever walked a labyrinth, this is a quote from Barbara Handclough. When people walk in labyrinths, they often have profound spiritual experiences. The path guides the walker into its center, which is the vertical axis that links all 9 dimensions. Now, I'm going to be showing several different pieces from Barbara Handclough's book, Alchemy of 9 Dimensions. And so there's going to be a slide coming up that's going to explain a little more about what that link is and what that access and how we can practice stepping into that access. So that's where, these are I'm taking you on baby steps. I'm not going to overwhelm anybody here. So next slide. So how many yeses did we get, Brenda? You want to unmute and tell me how many yeses we got? Because I can't see.
Okay, I didn't count them, but most of us said yes to all three of them, actually.
Okay. All right. So yes, congratulations, you are multidimensional. Okay. And so this is the time in our human history that we get to really tune in. And when I tell my story, you're going to see why that's so important. So here, you may also be asking, what is galactic astrology? Okay, because I said that to understand multidimensionality, we need to understand galactic astrology. Galactic astrology gives us a huge perspective, a much bigger perspective than what's going on in our little life with the people that we're in relationship that are teaching us so much, whether we like it or not. So galactic astrology, we not only look at planets, all astrology looks at planets and the relationships between planets, but we also look at dwarf planets, at least I do, not everybody does, but I look at the trans-Neptunian, that just means beyond Neptune, planets that are about the size of Pluto, but kind of on an elliptical orbit instead of a circular one. So all of them get called dwarf planets, and then Pluto got demoted to be with them. So he's not one of the majors, but astrologers keep treating Pluto like he's major. So we look at those. and we look at fixed stars. The stars just move so slowly, it like takes them 70 years to move 1 degree. And so if you have a fixed star on one of the planets in your natal chart, that star is helping you. You can tune into that star and receive inspiration and insight from that star. Nebulas we can tune into, galaxies we can tune into, cosmic gravitational points where galaxies are moving together towards points in the sky. So there's a lot of things that are affecting us that we never knew about. And the more we know, the clearer our life experience gets, and the more we can open to parts of our lives that we've forgotten. And there's two different ways, and I like both of them. This is more of a left brain. I don't know why I put the left brain picture on the right, but what the heck? How NASA sees the Milky Way Galactic Center. That is a picture from the Hubble, and it says Sagittarius A. And at this point in history, the galactic center is at 27 degrees Sagittarius. And when a lot of us were born, it was at 26. So if you have any planets that are conjunct 627 Sagittarius, then you have a really strong connection to this center of the Milky Way galaxy, this galactic center. There's another way to look at the Milky Way, and this is the way the ancient Incas in Peru saw the Milky Way. This is from a painting in a museum in Cusco, Peru, where a friend of mine is right now. And this is a painting by an artist, but the way that they were perceiving the Milky Way was all these animals. There's like a snake here, and there's a llama with a baby llama, and then there's like a fox. And so there's all these animals that are here in this Milky Way because that's what they were seeing in the sky at night. And that's what they were telling stories about instead of patterns of stars, which is what they were doing in Western astrology. So there's different ways of looking at galactic. And as we tune in, we can see, you might see in this way, or you might see in this way. And it really doesn't matter if you only see a color, if you only have a feeling, doesn't matter. It's all good. So that's that. And now I get to say a little bit more. Now, a couple people know me pretty well on here, and they know, oh, hi, Myra. They know that I had a big experience at Stonehenge, which I found out later that is a place that connects the Earth to the rest of the galactic center. So there's a strong connection in Stonehenge. There's a strong connection the way that the under the ground there's some really powerful things happening which help the connection that people are making to the stars and galaxies and things like that. So I talked a little bit about how in my childhood people didn't understand me, and um, I I was a teacher for the longest time in public schools, and I was one of the people that I'm going to hold up this one. I was handcuffed by a golden handcuff, which was, I really liked getting paid every week being a teacher in public schools and other government organizations. And it's taken me all this time to let go of the idea of being teaching what somebody else wants me to teach, and being able to just receive guidance and then say, okay, this is what I'm going to be teaching. It's coming from within me and going outward. And we need new things in this society, not being handcuffed to the old things, but being what is within each one of us is so important. That's why I'm doing this class for free, because I want everybody to know that within each one of us, we are creating what is going to be happening next on this planet. And so my husband and I have been to Stonehenge 4 times. And the first time we were only there for 45 minutes, but we both had a profound experience. And what I saw was oh my gosh, it's an opening door. And that's the first, I didn't even know what I was looking for, an open door. And there it was. But we had to get back on a bus or we wouldn't make it back to London. So the next time we came to England, we went there at sunrise. This is kind of a sunrise picture of Stonehenge. So we went at sunrise and we went into the center, and that was profound, a profound healing with the goddess stones. And we were on a journey uh, tracing the St. Michael's and St. Mary lines, and every place that had a conjunction of those two was really powerful. And on this same journey, we went to another really powerful place called Avebury, and we laid down on the grass and just felt these huge stones around us. Um, and all of a sudden, I knew that I had seen the star Venus in the morning, and Venus had just gone straight to my heart and opened it up. And I was working with this light, this energy, this information from Venus, and I didn't know what to do with it. But there I was laying on the ground in one of these stone circles in the UK, Avebury, and it was just, I felt the earth, the guardians of the earth saying thank you, because they were receiving the information from Venus. Um, and the information from Venus was for the earth. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you mean I can be a a transmitter between what the stars want to tell something, someone, a being, because I believe the earth's a being. There is this sense that these this information, I didn't understand what Venus was telling the earth. And so it took me, this was in 2019, so it's taken me 5 years even to figure out that I'm capable of being a conduit between things, without between people and places in the cosmos. And how do I know if I'm dealing with a person and they have places in the cosmos that they're connected to? I know some of you on this call have a connection to Arcturus. I know some of you on this call have a connection to Andromeda. And so it's part of my job to help people connect up. So we're going to bring in the star sheet because the North Node is right on it, and so is Neptune right now when we do our meditation. And so if anybody has a 29 degrees Pisces placement in their chart, that's going to be activated. Now, this isn't going to be like some big, long, you have to understand astrology to do this class. I'm just saying what the degrees are for, because I know there's a couple of people that are astrologers that signed up for this. So by the time we actually went to Stonehenge 5 times, and on the fourth trip, I went through one of these. They look like doorways to me, and so I went through the center one, and I walked in the center, and I just knew that what I was asking the universe for, what I was asking the cosmos for, was please access to all the information that was mine to have. So I was asking for access to all information. And so there it is. The fifth time we went to Stonehenge, it wasn't even that, there I am out there with my hands going up saying, okay, bring it, bring it. And I just tuned into unconditionally loving archangels and star beings and pull in the information. And I usually don't understand it right away. It usually takes a while, but I know it's there, and I get a hint if I know which chakra it's going to, and I get a hint if I see something or hear something with this information. And sometimes I get information and I'm just like, okay, teach a class on this. And I'll be like, okay, so here we are. So, da, 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 da. So how do you guys tune in? So luckily you don't have to take 5 years to figure that out. You just took what, a half an hour? Okay, so when we find the deepest center of our heart and we find the core of the earth, iron core crystal of the earth is one of the dimensions, it's the first dimension, and the galactic center, which is the ninth dimension, when we find all three of these points, that's when we can travel through any dimension and we can access any information that's coming through. So this is what we're going to practice right now. If that sounds scary to people, all you have to do is breathe, inhale and exhale. So what we're going to do, this is the practice. It's easier than it sounds. It sounds kind of woo, but if we have our feet on the ground, if you're feeling a little woo, you're having the feet on the ground, and we have a couple of Reiki healers now. If you see somebody in the video that seem like they need some Reiki energy while we're going through these dimensions or doing these practices, please send them some healing. Or but what we're going to do is feel your feet on the ground, inhale from the earth. So we're bringing the energy up from the earth right here, bringing the energy up from the earth, breathing it into our heart. And then, okay, so we're going to do that a couple times. So inhale and exhale. Okay, bring it in all the way to the heart one more time. Earth coming up, energy from the earth coming up into the heart, bringing it into the heart, leaving some earth energy in the center of your heart. Okay, next thing we're going to do is from above. If you have a favorite star or a favorite planet or a favorite galaxy, you're inhaling. Let's use, we're going to have a new moon with the sun and the moon conjunct tomorrow. So let's bring in the sun and the moon together, bringing in the sun and the moon, which we've seen and connected with so many times, bringing the energy of their connection in, bringing it down, bringing the sun and moon, those two opposites, into our heart center, sun and moon together, earth energy together, an overlap of those energies within our own heart. And now we're going to breathe, inhaling, breathing in both from the earth and from above, both breaths bringing it into the heart space, and then exhaling from the heart out. So let's do that a couple more times. Breathing in from above and below, exhaling from the heart, bringing it in from above and below, exhaling through the heart. So we actually called in some archangels to help us. Earlier, we called in Archangel Sandophone, which is helping us connect here, and Archangel Metatron, who's helping us connect here, Archangel Haniel, who's helping us connect here. So maybe you didn't know why they were called in, but right here, being able to figure this out right here. So if anybody has any comments or wants to reach out or needs help, just write in the chat. There'll be somebody that will be able to help you with that, with whatever's going on. Take some deep breaths and ground. If this information is taking you places that you need to process, so need some process with. Right now, like I said, we had the North Node in Pisces at 29 degrees. The dates in blue are other times Neptune in Pisces was at 29 degrees. The South Node was in Pisces here. So in my life, popped into the Earth when the South Node was at 29 degrees Pisces. And then these are the North Node dates. And you notice that January 2025 is actually January 15th, 2025, when the True Node entered 29 Pisces. And by the end of January, the mean node also. So a couple days ago, the mean node also hit 29 degrees Pisces, which is the last degree of the zodiac. So and the nodes move backwards in the zodiac. So we're always moving through counterclockwise with Aries going around to Pisces. And the nodes were going from 0 degrees Aries, which is the beginningness, all the way back to the last degree. So understanding the end and the beginning and the beginning and the end. So if you've been feeling a sense of new beginnings and beginningness, then you are right in with the cosmic energies. Because in the Gospel of Thomas, which was an early writing from the Jesus movement before Christianity was institutionalized, in the Gospel of Thomas, it says, "For in the place where the beginning is, there the end will be. Blessed is the one who takes a stand in the beginning, that one will know the end and will not experience death." So just knowing right here, if you know the end and the beginning and the beginning and the end, then you know that we're actually eternal, and that while we're on the earth, we can understand what's going on in our lives again with more clarity when we realize that time is not linear. Time moves in cycles and time moves in spirals. And so each one of these dates is a time on the spiral for the North Node being at the last degrees of Pisces. So what astrologers do is invite people to look at their own cycles, Saturn cycles, solar return cycles, moon cycles. All these planets are cycling around, giving us cycles of information. And when we add them up and look at the events in our daily 3D lives, we go, oh, that makes sense. I'm here on Earth to be a creative visionary. Who knew? Everybody but me. So there we go. So that's that. So I invite you to do that, to think about that. And then here's another one. We're going to do a little healing thing right now because I'm feeling some people need it. Because a lot of times, if our crown chakra is open, we're walking around ungrounded and confused. And that's not a good thing, especially if you live in like the United States. I've had really bad things happen when I was walking around with my crown chakra open. In Mexico, it's fine. Everybody loves you. They know what's going on and they're like, oh, cool. So we're moving deeper into Mexico. So here we go. So also when we raise our vibrational frequency, we can connect to more information. But right now we're going to do a chakra balancing. And we're going to go from the root chakra. I put the chakras up here in case, I'm sure everybody knows it, but just in case somebody doesn't. Here, the root chakra and the crown chakra heal each other. So the root and the crown. So if you know energy healing at all, just tune into the root chakra at the base of your spine and your crown chakra, and send energy from the root to the crown if you're feeling kind of spacey and ungrounded, and then that will help. And then the crown chakra also heals the root chakra. So the crown chakra can say, yes, you belong on earth at this time, claim it, own it. So the crown chakra and the root chakra heal each other. Then the sacral chakra right here and the brow chakra right here also help each other. Okay, so whatever emotional turmoil needs to be cleared, you can see it with the energy of the brow chakra if your visionary capacity is open in the brow chakra. And the brow chakra energy also can help you heal anything that's in the sacral chakra stored. We store a lot of emotional turmoil and pain in the sacral chakra, and understanding how to clear that can help us by working with the brow chakra. Throat chakra and solar plexus. Solar plexus is like our will, what we figure out, what information that we get on a soul level about what's going on in our life, and then how to bring that into how to bring that in to daily life. We're gonna ground into our daily life after we do a heart thing, a heart meditation. So throat chakra is the truth And so we want to make sure that whatever we are willing ourselves to do, whatever we've assigned our mind to do, assigned our ego personality to do, is related to the truth of who we are and the speaking of our own truth. And I can tell you that I notice when I'm not doing that, and I really work so that I can be as truthful when I'm speaking as I possibly can, based on the information I know at the moment. And if I watch this a year from now, I might go, oh, I know so much more now. But here we go. This is now what I was promising you from Barbara Hand Clow's Alchemy of Nine Dimensions. And this is when I'm saying that the North Node is in Pisces right now. Pisces is bliss, it's unity, it's the unconscious, it's waves upon waves of information coming in. Most of it, during most of my life, I didn't know what to do with it, because it's opposite that you also have to have. I lived over there, but the opposite you also have to have is the Virgo South Node, which is be here now. So until I really grounded and was able to be here now, I was unable to understand anything that was coming to me from Piscean bliss. It was coming and I knew it, but I wasn't happy about it and didn't like it. And when I fell in love with this information coming to me and bringing it into my daily life and my daily practices, everything changed. So when we look at trying to be an opposite over here, or just caring about myself and being really selfish. A lot of people are talking about narcissists who don't think about the other. This North Node just moved from self and other. Whereas if you're stuck over here in other, you may not do enough self-care. You may not be taking care of yourself. You may be giving everything away to everybody else. And there needs to be a balance of, okay, this is what I need to do, and I need to say no to this, and I need to take care of myself, so I can't do what this person wants. And but I want to be in relationship with them, so I have to think about what do they need and to give appropriately when asked. So that's what we just learned over the last 18 months, and we're about to learn more about being in bliss and being here now at the same time. So feeling this root chakra, crown chakra, healing each other is going to help through this next 18 months. That's why we did that exercise. That's why we went there. So here we go. We are going to just really quick. This is what the North Node looks like with the astrology on it. And this is, whoops, we all have access to these 9 dimensions. So this is from Barbara Hand Clow's book. The first dimension is that crystal core at the center of the earth. And tuning into that is the key to being able to bring in all the other information that we have. The second dimension is everything between the crust of the earth and the core of the earth. And there are actually beings on the planet that we cannot see because our brains were trained to be rational when we were in school, and yet there was so much more. When we're in Reiki healing, we're getting a Reiki healing, or we're there being the practitioner of Reiki. The body's in 3D, but we can look and we can see a lot of things, this 4D kind of umbrella around us. Okay. And traditionally on the planet, the veil was very thick and we really could not see through this. And now, what is the fourth dimension? The fourth dimension is where a lot of us have hung out most of our lives, and it's taken a lot to come back into 3D and be here now. But it's like the cultural conditioning, the beliefs, the archetypal patterns, myths, what you're taught in school, what people teach you in churches, what your parents teach you about the family and who you guys are. So all of this is we've ended up learning a lot of false beliefs along the way, and a lot of us, I know a couple of us at least here, have worked hard to clear old limiting beliefs so that we do no longer believe that we are living in scarcity, that we have access to all that we need, that we are here on the earth to stand in our abundance, not only our abundance of money, but our abundance of wisdom, our abundance of love, our abundance of energy for this time. And so what's happening is that through this canopy, this veil of the fourth dimension, things are poking through. A lot of people on this planet right now are in 5D, which is the most important thing, is to be in our hearts and really look into our hearts. And so we're going to do a meditation where that really comes in. This is the center point of really finding the center of our heart. If you don't ever explore these other dimensions, but you've got this one and you've got the heart, you're happening. So we've got this one has to do with sacred geometry, which has to do with why we called in the 7 directions, because when we feel that we have angels supporting us around us, then we can tune into 6D. 7D is like the song that we were singing for bringing in the 7 directions, because the 70 is more music, and it can come in from angelic realms. And my singing teacher here in Mexico told me that I was bringing in a lot of frequencies from the angels when I sing that song. So that's 70s coming in with music and with angels. 8D is coming in information from divine source. And that is like, if you've ever seen a candle with Our Lady of Guadalupe on it, she's in a golden halo. And so that is part of how there's different ways. Reading this book and reading the how to tune into the 8th dimension is really important. And there's some secrets that I can give you about that if you have that question at the end. And then 9D is we go into the supergalactic center, right? We saw 2 different kinds of pictures from the galactic center. So we can tune into that supergalactic center. And then there's actually a 10D with tuning into the Andromeda galaxy. And so we're going to go to that picture right now. Yeah. So we've got the Milky Way, which is the masculine yang energy, and the Andromeda galaxy, which is the feminine yin energy. And these 2 are twin galaxies, and they're pulling towards each other. Even though the universe is expanding in our local group, Milky Way is matched with Andromeda, and those 2 are coming together. And this is a picture of the Andromeda galaxy. So what did I do? Oh, I skipped this. Okay, so this is a picture of the 9 dimensions. Remember when Barbara Hancock was saying that in labyrinths, we connect to the vertical axis. So that's what we do when we connect to our 5D heart. We connect to our iron crystal core earth, and we connect to the galactic center or the Andromeda galaxy. You don't have to go as far as the Andromeda galaxy, but if you can connect to even the sun and the moon above and the earth below, bring it into our own heart with the breathing practice that we did, then we start to open into what is happening for us in this within our own hearts, so that we begin to create from within our own hearts. So all of this is like I was showing you in another thing, is that our lives happen in spirals. And so all of these spirals that are constantly available to us, we can contact through this vertical axis. So once we have that vertical axis, we can tune into all of these different dimensions. So there it is with what I was talking about, the iron core of the earth, the galactic center, our deepest heart. And So, this is some more information on galactic astrology. I was talking about our local group with the Milky Way and Andromeda. If this is too much for you, just ground and breathe. And going into the great attractor and then going into the Shapley attractor. So this is a more advanced level. It's kind of what galactic astrologers do. If you have more questions on that, I have a link for you from this is my galactic astrologer who taught me how to counsel people that have really strong, powerful placements, planetary placements in these huge cosmic points. And you guys are here for more than just a career and a relationship. So, and then here are some resources. This is a research page. How I learned how to get information from the Eye of the Heart is through Megan Watterson in her book, Mary Magdalene Revealed. I watched a lot of Matthias DiStefano on a Gaia series called Initiation. Um, bought the Galactic Heritage cards from Lisa Royal Hall, who was talking about the relationship between um, a lot of the information that's coming to people at this time. And then Diana Cooper, who talks about different angels bringing us in different dimensions. So these are all additional inspiration. These two were resources that from this presentation. So we're at the point in the presentation where we're ready to do the fifth dimension heart chakra meditation, where we're going to go into our deepest heart, which is a merging of opposites within the eye of the heart. So we've got the Vesica Pisces as a sacred union of the eye of the heart. The eye of the heart is a visionary space within our heart. We're bringing in the moon, yin energy. We're bringing in the core of the earth, okay, more feminine energy. We're bringing in the sun, some yang energy, and we're bringing in the star sheet, which is some more star energy, some more yang energy. So that's where we're going. We're going into the eye of the heart. We're going into that place within us that is really deep. That one of the things that I didn't mention is that the healing the heart is healing the front of the heart and the behind the heart at the same time. So the healing happening within the heart. So that's what we're going to be doing. And before we start the meditation, does anybody have an important question to ask? If so, put it in the chat. If you're really brave, you can raise your hand. But remember, we are live on YouTube. So anybody? Okay, it looks like we've got 10 people here. Woohoo! And we've got 19 messages. Okay. So if anybody has a question, oh my gosh, Myra said that Ed Hubble taught at her high school a long time ago, and Jody was accepting healing right now, wanted to accept healing right now. So I'm hoping that let's kind of pause as people that are like awake and grounded right now and send healing energy to people on the replay or people here with their cameras off in case they need it. So we're just going to send a little Reiki energy, a little healing energy to anybody that might feel a little overwhelmed because the crown chakra is open. So we're going to feel into that. Okay. Okay, thank you, everybody who's able to do that. Okay, so if we don't have any questions in the chat, we don't have anybody unmuting. If anybody wants to unmute right now and ask a question, you can before we move on to the meditation. Okay, so that's that. If you got absolutely nothing in the meditation because you were in a deep sleep, that's perfectly fine. Something happened. You're not going to know what it is right away, but something happened. And you might perceive something as a color, just a color coming to you. You might perceive light. You might perceive an image. You might perceive a word. You might perceive a feeling in your body. You might just you might just like feel a sudden something within your heart open or within your mind open, or you might really feel this energy core of the earth happening. So we're going to have our feet on the ground. We're going to have water next to us. Go ahead, and I usually have everybody drink water at the end of the meditation as we're bringing in our intention, our daily life intention. But I want everybody to drink in some water because we're going to ground ourselves in after some of that information, especially healers have water right next to their clients for when they get off the table. They need some healing grounding water. Okay. So feeling our feet on the ground, feeling this opening in the ball of our feet, knowing that our feet may be on the floor, but under this floor there is the earth, that we are on this earth at this time for a reason. We belong here. Now we can send energy down to the earth star chakra, which is 2 feet below our feet. And there may be some energy in the earth star chakra for you that you can connect to and bring up some earth star chakra grounding energy from the earth. And now we're going to travel further down through the core of the earth, through the second dimension, all the way to the core of the earth, the iron crystal core of the earth. And we find that iron crystal core at the earth because it has a lot of density. So if we're feeling a lot of density now, that's actually a good thing. You're finding the first dimension. You're finding the core of the earth. Now we're going to be bringing up this core of the earth energy coming up, bringing this energy, this density all the way up to the heart chakra, feeling this energy in our heart chakra, feeling it help and ground that's heart chakra. We can release anything within our own heart that's ready to be released, so we can open our heart just a little bit more. We've got this beautiful earth grounding energy helping us at this time release whatever's no longer serving us. Maybe some old heartbreaks or misunderstanding can be let go of. Just take the dust of what we think we might want and what we might be chasing, we might be clinging to some stuff, clearer, all that, help have the earth clear out all that. And then take a breath, feel a breath within our own beautiful heart. And now moving up our body, our throat chakra, our brow chakra to our crown chakra. And there is a star sheet right now, conjunct the North Node and Neptune, that helps us open our crown chakra. So we're bringing in this beautiful star sheet from above our head. This star is in the Pegasus constellation. We are in the new moon energy, having a new moon conjunction tomorrow, sun and moon conjunct, feeling the sun and moon together The daytime and the nighttime, the intellect of the sun and the intuition of the moon coming together through our crown chakra, this energy, this luminescence, this light of the sun and the moon coming through past our throat chakra and all the way into our heart chakra. So now we have light, which is very spacious and very, very light. Light is light. So, and it's information, and there's information that's very dense from the earth, and information that's very spacious and light coming from the sun and the moon and the star sheet. So now we are feeling like they coming into circles, two circles, a circle of earth and a circle of light coming together, overlapping like the Vesica Pisces, and that space within the two coming in, those two merging within that space, and then feeling from behind our heart, opening, opening from within our heart, this visionary space within our heart. And we can ask the question, how can I center myself, center from within my heart, so that I can ground all of the information that I need to know why I'm on the earth at this time. There's a reason. How do I know you're here? And bringing in information from loving, supporting beings that are helping all of us on earth at this time as we navigate all of this new. And we open into our heart, asking these questions: what is mine to do on the earth? But also the question, what information and insight is coming to me from this light of the sun and moon, from this star in Pegasus? And maybe quiet for a moment as we ask those questions. And now we can ask the questions, how can I open my heart to more love, for myself, for more love for the people that I love in my life, more love for the people I disagree with, who see things differently in a different perspective. How can I send more love? How can I have a broader perspective? How can I step into this beautiful fifth dimensional space of love within my own heart? Notice what you feel. Notice if you see anything at all, hear anything at all, coming from this deep space within you, this fifth dimensional heart opening space. How can I open my heart even more? How can I tune in a moment when I know I need to love more? So we're going to ask this new sense of love within our heart. What can I do to return to love when I'm strayed away from this sense of love for myself and for others? And now we can think about what in my daily life can I do? Something maybe 5 minutes, maybe 30 seconds, something I can do every day. Maybe a 15-minute meditation in the morning. Maybe what is it that I can do in a moment when I'm not feeling lovely? How can I return to love in 30 seconds? What can I do? How can I practice that in my calm, loving, safe space so that I have that to return to whenever I need it? So inhaling, take an inhale, feel your feet on the ground, inhaling from the earth, inhaling from the cosmos, from the sky, bringing all of that inhale to the heart, and then exhaling from the heart. And now let's do it again more quickly, inhaling from above and below, exhaling through the heart, inhaling from above and below, exhaling through the heart. Feeling this beautiful energy within your heart, feeling your feet on the floor, saying thank you to any beings who are helping you. You may have tuned into some angels or star beings or ascended masters. And when you are ready, if you have a journal, you can type into the journal something that you want to remember from this. If you want to come fully back into 3D, we can do that now. You can take a drink of the water, especially if you know, oh, this is the daily step I want to take. So the daily step I want to take is to do more of that. For me, to do more of that, breathing in from above and below and exhaling through my heart. So I'm going to drink that in my water as something I'm going to do whenever. Okay, so we have about 15 minutes for anyone that would like to share anything that they experienced in that meditation or has a question now that we went through all of that information. Perhaps it makes more sense now than it did when we went through it intellectually and visually. And now that we're feeling it, going through it in a meditation in our body, it might make a little more sense. So if anybody has a question that they want to put in the chat or wants to talk about the experience that they had, go ahead and unmute or raise your hand or let me know that you would like to share something about your experience here in this class, in this meditation. Carrie, go ahead. Thank you.
Yay, this was a really wonderful meditation. And the gift I got was stairs to all the dimensions. And it was almost like a rune symbol that was sort of going up, above me, but it was all around me, how you had that diagram of the four dimension arc over us and then all of the other dimensions above us, and if there was stair steps from my heart up to all these dimensions around me. And the step that I was given was center in the heart, be able to take in all of the dimensions at once, and realizing that I've been only thinking, well, I need to just get to this dimension, I need to get to this one thing, and it's not just one thing. And the do is like, what am I going to do constructively? And I'm like, what are you going to do with that constructively in the 3D world, right? And that's work creatively in the round. And no limits to just what's in front of me. And I think of my creativity, what am I going to make? What am I going to create? And it's just in a plane of existence right in front of me. And I don't think of things in the round. So that's what I got out of this meditation. It was tremendous. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, Carrie. She experienced these knowing dimensions in a different way than Barbara Hancock experiences them, which is great because now we have another idea of how to experience these. Plus, I forgot to mention that the ninth dimension is not necessarily better than the fifth, or the first dimension is not less than the fifth. They're working together. And the fifth dimension is really key on our planet right now. So if we can really tune into our hearts, then that's really going to help not only ourselves in our own life, but the whole planet. And so thank you so much for that wisdom that you shared, Carrie. Carrie is so brilliant. She has an open crown chakra. Everybody loves it, and she's just so amazing. So thank you for sharing, Carrie. Now, you might not have had the most amazing vision like Carrie, but I would like to hear if you felt anything. Oh, we have somebody in the chat. Jody is telling us something that she experienced in the chat. Brenda, do you want to read that for us?
Sure. Now there was two different comments here, two different Jodys. The first comment is, also received the message that I can center in divine love through loving acceptance and non-judgment of all that is. So that's actually very incredible. And then Jody Bonham, I felt the same type of heart opening that you feel when you hold a sleeping infant. And as I relaxed into that, I felt how we're all being birthed anew.
God, oh, that is so brilliant. Oh my gosh, both comments, both of you. I'm just fell in love with you and I just met you. Okay, so both Jody and we have two Jodys and they're both brilliant. Isn't that lovely? So thank you so much for sharing, everybody who's sharing here. This is just so true because yes, with absolutely loving acceptance with no judgment of all that is. Now, I judge some stuff sometimes, but I catch myself so that I can return to, okay, I'm just going to take this to a higher perspective. I'm going to and just step into love. Then I start, a lot of times I'll start with loving my husband because I love him, and I'll just think about him, or I'll think about one of my soul friends, and I'll just send that the person love, and then I'll be able to send love to whoever I'm judging, or whatever system in the world that's crumbling I'm judging. So, this is a time of systems crumbling, as we know. And that, so just returning to that space within of the love that we are, but using whatever means we can to go in to love ourselves enough to do this for ourselves, is to be able to return to love, to be able to return to this whole thing, this feeling. So
Renee, Debbie would like to share.
okay, go ahead, Debbie. That's great. Thank you. You go ahead and unmute.
Howdy. I'm going to leave my camera off because I haven't been feeling well. So,
Okay. Good to see you, Debbie. Thank you so much for coming.
oh, I always love your classes, Renee. They're fabulous. Um, so for me, this meditation was really profound. I got it. It's the time to connect with the eye of my heart. And just to be open to love and to connect through doing more movement practices of like divine rituals, kind of like qigong, that kind of thing. And to listen to the earth's natural rhythms and being held in her pure light, and that will help restore myself back to nature, which is I haven't been feeling well, so maybe that's why that came up. And then what I got to do in those 30 seconds, I love that you brought that into our consciousness. That was fabulous, a real gift. I got to put my right hand on my heart and to tap um, like a heartbeat, and this would amplify and kind of align my heartbeat with that of the earth and um the whole thing, like the sky and the earth, and just to kind of take a moment to tune into myself, recharge in nature, and be at peace in the silence, and just tune
Mm.
into both. And then at the end, I pulled a card, and it was the keeper of the light, and it
Mm.
more or less said the same kind of thing, um, that to connect to the earth's natural rhythms and enjoy the journey. And it gave a mandala that kind of looks like Metatrons. So I thought that was kind of cool. And it has like a hummingbird flying out of it. So I'm going to visualize that at my heart center.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, Debbie, and thank you for being here. And Brenda, go ahead and share.
Yeah, I actually really wanted to just mention two things. I don't remember what I got anymore in my visualization, but there were two things out of this class that I really wanted to talk about. One is I wasn't conscious of the fact that I thought that the dimensions were linear, right? You know how that's a human construct of where we walk up the
Right,
stairs. Until
right.
Katie said that was her gift, was the steps, but that she could actually access all of them from there. You don't have to go, 1, 2, 3, up to 9 or 10 if we
Right.
reach that high. And the other thing I was struck by earlier on when you were giving your talk about multidimensionality, in one way I knew what you meant coming in, or I thought I knew what you meant, but I made it was a remembrance for me because as you know, I'm a Reiki master teacher, and in Reiki sessions or shamanic journeying or any of, the modalities like that, we actually can spontaneously access things like the Akashic records, without consciously going there. And so it reminded me that this is another um, maybe deeper aspect of that you can actually access all dimensions through all energies, right? That we can connect to all of those um, those aspects of ourselves and of our universe. So that was really fascinating to me, was that remembrance about how I do already access,
Yes.
other dimensions just by nature of who I am and the work that I do. So that was interesting. I just wanted to share that perspective. Um, one of the things in Reiki, so in my mastery class right now, we're talking about consciousness. And one of the things I was teaching, and it came to me in a different way because your picture is exactly what I teach, that how we're all connected through our feet, through Mother Earth, and to every other being, that walks on Earth, right? Because we are all standing on Earth at the same time. And we're all connected through the crown because that's our access to source, right? To the heavens, whatever your terminology is for that. And how we connect with each other is through your heart. And so there was literally my last class that I taught last week or the week before, whenever it was, about starting to bring that aspect of consciousness, to my mastery students. And there it was in diagram talking about multidimensionality. That was fascinating to me. So I love that. It just connects it all in another way for me.
It's beautiful. You've got all these synchronicities happening, and you knew you had to be at this class. So that's awesome. That's awesome. So we've got anybody else want to have a comment? We've got another, okay, yes, go ahead. I don't know your name, Samsung SM, whatever, but I would love to meet you. Go ahead and unmute. Okay.
It's me, Renee Sylvia.
Oh, Sylvia. Okay. Hi, Sylvia. Okay, yeah,
Took
you
me a
left as
while.
Sylvia and then
It
you
took
came
me.
back on your phone, right? Is that what
No,
happened?
right. I have to do it directly through my Zoom application. It didn't work the other way, and
Okay.
but
Okay.
anyway, I'm here, and I'm
Yeah.
glad to be here. I just want to share that when you were guiding us through the meditation about what things we can do to keep us in love, um, I've been asking myself actually that for a while, and it's always comes the thought that to train our brain in the sense of how we think, and when you are aware that you have in thoughts that are not the way you want to be or become, because we have learned so different others' perspective of life. So we have to unlearn first
Yeah.
in order to apply new things and integrate them into our daily life, into our life, into our way of speaking or thinking or whatever. So for me, it's like be very aware of every single thought that comes into my mind, because it's like a automatic pilot that sometimes thoughts come into you without you even thinking specifically about that. It's something that comes in. So
Right.
it's like, okay, no. I like, I've been like training myself when that happens to say, stop it. This is not the way you want to be. This is not the thought that you want to have.
Right.
And once you keep doing it, it will get more like faster in
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
deleting it in a way. And for me, that's a way that and that it brings my heart more in consciousness.
Beautiful.
And I something that I would like to ask you is that what happens when you have a heart surgery?
Mm.
How would that change? Because in my case, in 2020, I have a very unexpected emergency, rush into the ER, and 10 days after I was having an open heart surgery, having my mitral valve replacement.
Wow.
And it's a biological one, it's not the mechanical one. It's from a little beautiful animal. But like I hold my hands and my heart and I always say like, we are here together. But how will that in some way can how you say influence in your meditations, in your way of moving the energy through that heart chakra? How can I'm
Hey,
very interested
you're asking a
in
really important question that's really specific to you. So I want you to, can you stay on for 15 minutes after we shut down this call? For a couple minutes after, this is what
okay.
we do. This is what we do in my community. We have new moon ceremonies every month. We go through the eye of the heart. Debbie's been to them. Brenda, Carrie, they have been to these before. And what we do is after we shut down the public YouTube channel, we talk about some of, we can ask questions that are going to be like personal to you. And so if you can stay for a couple of minutes, we can address something that's happening for you, or that you want to share that. Now I know you can't be
Thank
here for
you.
there's a new moon ceremony tomorrow that Sylvia can't be there for. So I'm extending this time for her today. So I'm let me just put up, thank you so much for sharing, Sylvia, and I do want to you know answer that question, or help you answer that question for yourself, because like we all have these answers to our own questions, and it's just, you just need somebody to ask the right questions for you to understand your answer. So this is what we did.
Thank you.
And this is the new moon ceremony I'm talking about. That's tomorrow. and we go into the eye of the heart. In fact, the circles I use to explain to people in the new moon ceremonies what we're doing when we go into the eye of the heart. So it's January 29th, 2025. There's a different Zoom link for this one. So Brenda's going to put that in the chat, and all of these things, how to contact me, email me, hello@reneevarnado.com. That's going to be in the show notes. If you're watching the replay, it's already in the chat. So all of this is happening. There's a different Zoom link for tomorrow's new moon ceremony. Today we're feeling the new moon, but tomorrow we will have had the new moon, and it'll be a couple hours later. And then the new moon energy lasts for a couple of days. Sometimes we have the new moon ceremony a little after. And so I really want to build up this new moon community where we go into the eye of the heart, where we ask the questions, what's being conceived within me now? And we come up with a kind of something that we can do in our daily 3D life to be more in to be more who we are, and working with the energies that we need to work with for EM. Like Brenda said, when she's a Reiki master, she's in another dimension. Most of my life, I was in another dimension. I was burning pots and pans and crashing cars. And when I finally entered 3D, I stopped doing that. Da-da, you know. So it's important. I think it's important to know where we are and to be able to access where we need to be. So as a galactic astrologer, this is another one, as a galactic astrologer, if I have clients that have Andromeda placements, I need to go to the Andromeda galaxy. Now, not everybody needs to do that, but because of what I do, I need to, right? And not every Reiki master needs to learn how to ground, below their feet. Those that do are really are expanding their own power. So if I get 10 people interested in tuning into a multidimensionality 8-week class series, then I'm going to run it, and it would start on February 11th. If you're interested at all in exploring some of these dimensions, if you liked the meditation that we did, if it was helpful for you, then you might want to consider consider this class for you. Why? So that we can make decisions about what dimension you're going to need to be in for the task at hand. So, and a lot of people I know want to channel, so that you can channel from the aspects of you connected to quality information. So if you have placements in the Andromeda galaxy and you want to bring through some Andromeda wisdom, we're looking for, okay, what information can I channel from my own? I mean, here we are, this is us, all these different parts of ourselves, and living in all these different dimensions over many, many lives. How can we find that place within us that has the highest quality information to come through? So that's a possible intention. Or being better at the job that you do, because you go to different dimensions to do it. So the classes, there's going to be 8 live classes on Zoom, 90-minute classes with guided meditations to help us experience each dimension. So each of the meditations will be a little different, but all of them are going to be going into the eye of the heart. We're going to have deepening practices. We did a couple of practices about the breathing from above and below and exhaling through the heart. So we'll have more practices like that. The classes would be really small. And so if you are interested in talking about the possibility of this class, book a free 30-minute consultation with me. We can talk about this class. We can talk about, maybe you don't want to take a class, maybe you'd rather book an astrology reading, there's information on how to book an astrology reading. Brenda's putting that in the chat too. So she's putting my 30-minute free consultation in the chat. She's putting my link to an astrology reading where we connect to the archangels and other star beings that are in your chart that are supporting and loving you through this time. I mean, the cosmos right now is giving us a lot of support to move through all the healing that we need to do, all of the misinterpretations of what we're doing here on this planet. So all of that can be happening and work through. So anybody have any questions on this? We have about 4 minutes if anybody wants to unmute with a question. Brenda, were there other comments that we need to talk about from the chat?
Yeah, you have definite interest in the group. But I actually really wanted to comment to Sylvia because I can't stay that long at the end of class.
Okay.
I am also an Eden Energy Medicine practitioner, and about your heart surgery. Anybody that's had a surgery like that where either they've had different things removed or replaced or whatever, that can create almost a tear or a hole, or a leak in our auras. And so if you figure eight, that weaves all those energies back together again, and it can really help integrate everything back into the body and into every layer of your aura. So just figure eight wherever your hands are drawn. It can be fast, they can be big, they can be small, it doesn't matter. Or you can smooth with the hand, almost like working icing. And it will help heal all those energetic layers, all those aspects of your system, and help your body fully accept and integrate any of those changes that have happened in your system. So I really just wanted to share that. And that's for all of us, which is why I didn't wait till after the recording is done. We can have toxic elements in our aura, different layers, any of those things. And figure eight, it's one of the most common geometric patterns we have in our energy fields. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you. Okay, so if there's one last 1-minute question, this is what we sing at every new moon ceremony or class I ever do. This is how we sing ourselves out, because we are all of the people here. I'm so grateful that you're here and that we're now a circle of love. We're a circle of peace. Go ahead, Brenda.
There was one question in the chat that I forgot about. What time of day are you thinking about teaching that class? Have you thought that far?
It depends on who is available. I like noon Pacific time, but if there's somebody that I really want in the class that I'm talking to on a consultation, and they need it earlier or later, then I'm open to that. But they would be Tuesdays. They would be Tuesdays.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other you can email me if you don't want to get on a 30-minute call. You can email me if you're not sure what you would like that I'm offering, get on a consult and we'll talk about other things too. Okay. So this is our song. We're going to sing it, and then we're going to say goodbye to the people on the replay and the people on YouTube. In this circle of love, in this circle of peace, in this circle of love, in this circle of peace, I feel our unity, love, sweet security. I feel our unity, love, sweet security. In this circle of love, in this circle of peace. Thank you so much, everybody who came. We're going to end the YouTube live stream. If you have a question and you want to share something, please stay on and share. There's like 14 messages in the chat, which is always nice. If you're watching the replay, there's notes in the show notes. Please like and subscribe. I would love to hear from you and hear what you've got going on. I answer every message and respond to every comment. So love and blessings to all of you on YouTube.